All right, for this reteach, we are going to take a look at writing inequalities and solving them. So number one, we've got 7 less than twice a number is at most negative 15. So first thing that I do is I'm circling my numbers. We've got 7, we've got twice is a number, and negative 15. I am also going to highlight key words in here. I see less than, twice is also a keyword, and then at most. And then I'm underlining our unknown, a number. So for my variable, I'm just going to say x equals a number. And then let's figure out the important stuff here. So at most, when I'm looking over here, I see that at most is telling me it is less than or equal to. So I know right away that in my inequality, there's going to be a less than or equal to. So which one here is our total? It says at most negative 15. So that means that it's equal, less than or equal to negative 15. Now let's look over here. 7 less than. Let's remember that 7 less than does not mean 7 minus. Less than means that it comes after. So I immediately write that I'm subtracting 7 from something. What am I subtracting it from? Twice a number, which just means 2 times x, or 2x. Now that we have our inequality written out, we can solve. We've got minus 15 or negative 15. So the opposite is, or sorry, minus 7 or negative 7. The opposite is to add 7 to both sides. Cancels out on this side. We're left with 2x. Bring down our inequality symbol. Negative 15 plus 7 is negative 8. Next step, x is being multiplied by 2. So the opposite is to divide each side by 2. Since we didn't multiply or divide by a negative, our sign stays the same. Negative 8 divided by positive 2 is negative 4. All right, let's try another one. Number 2, 10 less than negative 4 times a number is no more than negative 34. So 10 is a number, less than negative 4 times a number is no more than negative 34. So I've circled my numbers. Let's highlight some of these key words or phrases. Less than is going to be a key word. Times tells us multiplication, and then is no more than. So what can be confusing is that less than in these instances, just like in the last one, they could be subtraction, they could be the inequality symbol. But since I see is no more than, that no more than is right here and tells me that our inequality symbol is less than or equal to. So I can write that right here. We know it's going to be less than or equal to. And then last part, a number, that is our unknown. So I'm going to write that n equals a number. So let's set up our equation here. I know that my total is no more than, so less than or equal to my total. I'm going to rewrite that. Less than or equal to my total of negative 34. Then let's look over here. 10 less than. Again, less than means we are subtracting 10 from something. What are we subtracting it from? Negative 4 times a number. So negative 4n. Now that we have our inequality, we can solve. I'm going to get rid of my constant. If I've got a negative 10 or minus 10, the opposite would be to add 10 to both sides. On the left side, those cancel out. We're left with negative 4n. Bring down our inequality symbol. Negative 34 plus 10 is negative 24. Last step, N is being multiplied by -4. The opposite is to divide each side by -4. Since this time I divided by a negative number, that is when my sign should flip. So it's going to flip from less than or equal to greater than or equal to. And then -24 divided by -4 is +6. So the last time we didn't flip our sign because it was dividing by a positive number. Since we divided by a negative number, our sign flips. All right, so now let's look into some real world applications. Zoe and her dad go on a hot air balloon ride over the weekend. In order to remain safe, they can go to an elevation of no more than 450 feet. I'll make that a little bigger. If they start at an elevation of 120 feet and rise at a rate of 14 feet per minute, how many minutes can they continue to rise? So we circled some numbers. Let's highlight some key words. So I see no more than, whoops. I see no more than, which is an inequality symbol for less than or equal to. Okay, they start at an elevation of 120 feet and they rise at a rate of 15 feet per minute. And then our question is asking, how many minutes can they continue to rise? So first off, that tells me my variable is going to be m equals the number of minutes. Then I'm going to set up my inequality. So we already identified no more than is less than or equal to. And what is it no more than? 450 feet. So that's the total, the highest they can get to. They started at an elevation of 120 feet. So from the beginning, they were at 120 feet. They are rising, so we're adding feet, 15 feet per minute. So 15 times the number of minutes. Now we have an inequality we can solve. We've got positive 120, so I'm going to subtract 120 from both sides. On the left side, it should cancel. You're left with 15m. Bring down the inequality symbol. 450 minus 120 is 330. Then last, m is being multiplied by 15. The opposite is to divide each side by 15. So we get m is less than or equal to 330 divided by 15 is 22. All right. This next one, we are going to solve it, and then we're going to describe what does the solution actually mean. Okay. So it says Adam wants to spend at most $750 on his birthday. He already spent $580 on decorations and food. How many hours can he rent a DJ for at $18 per hour? So I've circled my numbers. Let's highlight some key words here. So he wants to spend at most $750. And I see all the way over here, at most is less than or equal to. He already spent $580 on decorations and food. How many hours can he rent a DJ at $18 per hour? And underlining the question, how many hours? So that tells me I'm going to use H equals the number of hours. So let's set up our inequality. At most 750, so that's our total. And at most, we already decided is less than or equal to 750. He already spent $580, so we started at 580. Plus he's spending $18 per hour, so 18 times the number of hours on the DJ. Now we have an inequality we can solve. We've got positive 580. I'm going to get rid of it by subtracting 580 from both sides. On the left side, it cancels. We're left with 18H. Bring down the inequality symbol. 750 minus 580 is 170. And then last step, H was being multiplied by 18. The opposite is to divide each side by 18. And we get H is less than or equal to 9.4 repeating. So I'm just going to round that to 9.4. So what does this solution mean? Doesn't necessarily make sense to be renting a DJ for 0.4 of an hour. They probably would make you rent it for complete hours. So if he only has money for 9.4, we can't round that up to 10. We have to round down. So what does it mean? Adam can rent the DJ for 9 hours or less. Because it has to be less than or equal to 9.4. So the lowest whole number or highest whole number it could be is 9. All right, one more. Christian is going to the Vernon Hills Days Carnival. He can spend up to $20 if the ticket to get in is $7.50 and each ride costs $1.25. How many rides can he go on? So I've circled my numbers. Let's highlight some key words. So we can spend up to $20. I see up to, for whatever reason, the trend was less than or equal for all of these. If the ticket to get in is $7.50, okay, and each ride costs $1.25, how many rides can he go on? So our question, how many rides? So I'm going to use R equals the number of rides. And then I'm going to set up my inequality. So the total amount he can spend is up to $20. So that tells me less than or equal to $20. He's paying to get into the carnival once. So that $7.50 is a one-time deal plus $1.25 per ride. So times R, times the number of rides R. Now let's solve this inequality. We're going to get rid of the 750 by subtracting 750 from each side. On the left side, it canceled. So we get 1.25. R is less than or equal to 1250. Last step, R is being multiplied by 1.25. So the opposite is to divide by 1.25. On the left side, they cancel out. We get R is less than or equal to 1250 divided by 1.25 gives us 10. So in this case, there was no decimal value. So how many rides can he ride? Christian can ride 10 rides or less. And that is it.